Everybody, John Tanzi, Otterbein University, Westerville, Ohio. Here today, what we're going to be doing is purifying DNA out of some strawberries. So to begin with, we have the ingredients that we're going to need for this purification. Of course, we have some strawberries, we have some salt, a couple pieces of glassware, some dish detergent, a couple things to measure with, a plastic bag, a coffee filter, and some rubbing alcohol. So the first step, we're going to take our plastic bag and we're going to take our two strawberries and we're going to put them in this plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, some sort of sealable bag. We're going to zip it shut and we're going to mash them. So we've been mashing our strawberries for a few minutes. We're trying to crush up all the larger pieces of them and get it as smashed up as we can. This is one of the grosser parts of the experiment. And then what we're going to do is add some things to this to help separate our DNA out from the rest of the cells and help to rupture those cells up, break those cells open. So the first thing we're going to do is add a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to add 2 teaspoons of dish detergent. And the salt and the dish detergent are going to try to break up those cells and remove other parts of the cell like proteins and carbohydrates away from the DNA. And then we're also going to add half a cup of water. You can have somebody help you with this part or someone hold this bag for you. And then what we're going to do is mash it up again. Okay, we've mashed up our DNA, our strawberries I should say, with our dish detergent and salt and water, and we've broken all those cells open, and so all that DNA is loose in that liquid. But there's still lots of chunks of strawberries and other things in there, and we want to get rid of those. So what we're going to do is filter that off using a coffee filter. So we're going to take this and we're going to put this through the coffee filter. We're going to save the liquid that comes through, and we're going to get rid of all the solid parts. Okay, so we've filtered our strawberry liquid and we're going to pour it in this glass just so it's easier to see. You can see we missed a few little chunks there. If your filter rips, you can always just refilter it or use a second filter. That's fine. We're going to try to avoid these bubbles as best we can. So we have some isopropanol here, or rubbing alcohol, and we're just going to pour this rubbing alcohol right along the edge here to kind of layer it on top. When we do that, you can see it forms kind of a clear layer on the top. And the strawberry liquid's down below. But you can also see it's starting to get a little bit cloudy there at the interface between the two. So what we can do now is just take a coffee stirrer and go in. And if we go slowly around with a coffee stirrer, what we can do is start to do something called spooling. And we can pick up this big snotty mess, which is DNA. So go ahead and try this at home. Have fun, everybody.
Hi, I'm Robin Grody. I'm a chemistry professor at Otterbein University, and I'm here today to talk to you about diaper science. So we have some disposable diapers, and we have some questionable liquid that might go in a diaper. So don't worry, it's just water with food coloring. It's not the real stuff. And so maybe something gross that you have wondered about when seeing a diaper changed is, how do those things work? So I'm gonna move the camera a little bit so you can see with what I'm doing down here, and you can see our supplies. All right, so we have here a dirty diaper, or a clean diaper rather, and if you were here with me, I would ask you to feel it. And what you'd feel is it's pretty thin and kind of flat, and maybe a little soft, but not too fluffy or anything. And so you would be surprised how much one of these diapers can hold. So if we pour in our liquid, at first, it's gonna look like, there's a bunch of yellow liquid on top. But if we wait a minute or two, well, not really a minute or two, maybe a second or two, what you're gonna see is that all this yellow liquid is gonna soak up. And so if you could feel this, it's actually pretty puffy and squishy now. The diaper is a lot thicker. It's really, really heavy. And maybe you can start to see that there's places where it's becoming white again. So all of this liquid is actually pulled down to the bottom underneath this like cotton pad that's here. And maybe you're wondering, well, what's doing that? What's pulling that liquid down? And so we're gonna do something, because we're only using water and food coloring. I wouldn't do this with the real thing, but we're gonna cut this open and see what it looks like. So right on top, we have, just like I said, a little cotton pad, but underneath is where all of our liquid is gone. You can see it's kind of yellow. And I'll bring it up close to the camera here. It's kind of like a gel, but little particles. So it's like little squishy jelly balls, if you will. So little spheres of this squishy material. And that's where all our liquid is gone. And so if you actually open up a clean, dry diaper, you can see this stuff. So if we open it up, there is a cotton pad on top, but underneath that cotton pad, there's actually, I don't know if you can see, those little white grains. So they actually just look like salt. They're so teeny tiny. There's not very much of it in the diaper. And you could shake all that out and pour it into a cup and then mix it with some liquid. And that's what we're gonna do. All right, so here we've got just a little bit. There's really not very much. And we can mix that with some liquid and stir it. And now this takes a little more time. You remember how long it took the diaper, right? We don't want to wait that long again. So I have some stuff, if we let this sit for a minute, it actually looks just like this. And you can scoop it out. And it looks like, again, it's like jelly, but you don't want to eat this stuff. That would be a very, very bad idea. All right. So what's doing this? How does this stuff work? Well, this is a chemical called sodium polyacrylate. And it is really good at soaking up water. So this is a pipe cleaner with pom-poms, but this is kind of what sodium polyacrylate looks like when it's dry. So that dry powder, it's curly, and it's got these blue pom-poms are representing sodium ions. And what happens is this is nice and dry. So we're gonna pretend these pink and red pom-poms here are water, okay? So this is water, or, well, could be pee if we're talking about diapers, right? This is our gross science. So this is our liquid. Here's our sodium polyacrylate. Just like this, it's not very sticky, but what happens when it gets into the liquid is that the sodium ions fall off, and now the sticky parts are revealed, and actually the curly shape stretches out. And then it can stretch and pick up, and you'll see just like it does, right, the water molecules. And that's how it actually soaks up the water molecules and sucks them to themselves and makes this jelly, but keeps the top of the diaper dry. So thanks for stopping by and learning a little bit about diaper science. And I hope you find other exciting, gross science to explore today.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bouchard and I'm a professor in the Biology and Earth Science Department at Otterbein University. Today, together with my daughters Tatum and Milena, I want to talk to you about poop. Now, when biologists talk about poop, they're actually referring to animal scat, and we've brought a variety of samples for you to look at today. For example, we have some herbivore scat, which is typically round spherical droppings that you'll see. The examples we have are from a cottontail rabbit. We have some from a couple different kinds of deer, and the larger scat that you see there is from an elk. Now, carnivore and omnivore poop can look very different from herbivore poop, and it tends to be long and cylindrical. Some are pointed, like the fox and coyote examples that we brought today. And also you'll see we have an example from a domestic dog. The dog, that's from a pretty big dog. It can sometimes be confused with coyote poop. One way to tell the difference is look at what's inside. Coyote poop might have fur in it, berries, seeds. We also have some cat scat here for you to look at. We have both we have bobcat and cougar, and you can see that it's a little bit more broken up. And then we also have some blunt poop, which our example here we have is bear, which you can tell is from a very large animal. Some blunt poop that you might see around your neighborhood could come from a raccoon. And then finally, there's some variable types of scat. The examples we brought are possum and skunk. So if you're interested in animal scat, one thing you can do is you can make some in your own home using simple ingredients that you can find in your kitchen. So to make your own poop at home, you'll need a cup of oatmeal, 4 teaspoons of cocoa powder, and some water. Once your poop is made, then you can mold it into your favorite animal scat. Tatum will be making some carnivore scat, and Milena will be making some herbivore scat.
Hello, I'm here at Otterbein University, the Biology and Earth Science Department. Are you scared of spooky skeletons? Well, don't be. They can be fascinating. So, here we have the cranium, then the maxilla, and last we have the mandible, or jaw. Here we have the shoulder girdle, made of the clavicle and the scapula, the humerus, radius, and ulna. Here we have the hand, made of the carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges. Here, for the chest, we have the sternum and the ribs surrounding it. Here we have the spine, made up of the cervical, thoracic, the lumbar, the sacrum, the 5 fused ones, and the coccyx, more commonly known as the tailbone. Here we have the pelvic girdle, made up of the ilium, the pubis, and the ischium. Here for the leg, we have the femur, patella, tibia, and fibula. Let's not overlook the foot and ankle area. So here we have the ankle area, the tarsals, metatarsals, and phalanges. Thank you for learning about spooky skeletons with me and learning they're not so spooky after all.